welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, we are going to be expense tracking for the second week in January. Technically, it's the first full week in January. I counted the first 3 days of January as week 1 in terms of expense tracking, and so now we're going into the week of January 4th through the 10th. We're going to track everything I spent this week. It's a lot. I feel like we did a lot of spending this week. So we're going to fill in my expense tracker here. We are also going to go in and track some of my sinking fund transactions here, because we have been making use of our sinking funds. So if you're interested in seeing what I spent and watching me kind of work the numbers and categorize things and get things color coded, you're in the right place. Just keep on watching, and that will get me all kind of set up for my budget check-in, which will be the next video you see here on my channel, the next budget video. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So as I said, this is everything I spent from January 4th through January 10th. So on January 4th, I paid some bills. We paid HBO Max. The category for that is bills. And the amount was $15.84. Also on the 4th, I paid my phone bill, which is through Boost Mobile. My handwriting is super sloppy. I just went in and polished my nails, and I'm always too impatient to wait for them to dry entirely, so they're still a little bit tacky, and I'll probably end up totally screwing them up. So for Boost, the amount that came out was $120. That was it for the 4th. Pretty low-key spending day, just paid some bills. On the 5th, my husband went to the post office for me and mailed my last bunch of Christmas cards. I did a holiday card exchange here on my channel throughout December, and I had a few straggler cards that came in after Christmas, so I needed to just mail back responses. A couple of those were going to Canada, so we had to go in and pay some extra shipping. Technically, this would be a business expense, but my husband didn't get a receipt for me, so without a receipt, I'm not going to try to write it off on my taxes, so I just included it here in our personal budget. If you're not familiar, I do my business budget separate from my personal budget now. So for USPS, I counted this as a miscellaneous expense, and that amount was $2.60. Let's see. Also on the 5th, I made our camper payment. I'm just gonna write camper here. And that category is bills as well. I count minimum payments on credit cards, our payment to our car, and our payment to our camper as bills, even though technically they're debt. I could categorize them that way, but I have a category for extra debt payments, and I feel like I would just confuse myself. So I just count these as bills. I figure I have to pay them every month, so I'll just consider them a bill. And then someday, hopefully we'll have them paid off and they won't be there anymore, but that's the way I've chosen to do it for now. So for our camper, we paid $200. And that was it for the 5th. So on the 6th, I pulled out cash from our bank account for our savings challenges. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to categorize this. Obviously, I need to account for that money coming out of our account, so I do need to list it here. I guess I'll just count it as its own category for savings, because technically this money didn't get spent, right? It just got moved from one account to another. So it's kind of a gray area here. Not really sure how to handle this, but for now I'm just going to include it as an expense, I suppose. But when I'm going to get my overall totals for, you know, how much money we have, I'll probably not count this. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does. It's been a really long time since I did savings challenges, so kind of iffy on how to incorporate that into my expense tracking. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and move on to the 7th. That was the only spending that happened on the 6th. So I guess technically that could be considered a no spend day, as could these days where I just paid bills, right? Depends on what we're counting as spending. Are we counting paying bills as spending or not? Let me know down below what you guys think I should do for that. Okay, so on the 7th, my husband went to Sunoco and we got gas, but we typically get gas at Walmart through, we have a Walmart Plus membership, so we get discounts on gas at Murphy, the Walmart gas station there. So we didn't want to fill up at Sunoco for that higher price, but we didn't have enough gas in the car to make it to Walmart. So we just put $15 in it to get us through the day and, you know, make sure we didn't run out of gas. And then we went later on in the week to Walmart and filled up. Okay. So also on the 7th, I had my Blue Apron box charged to my account. I joined Blue Apron primarily because there was an Ibotta rebate of $50 off, and you could use that rebate in conjunction with the Blue Apron deal that was going on, and I got a ton of money off my first 5 boxes, I think. So my very first box also got free shipping, so it was like only $11.95, and that is for 2 meals of 2 servings each. So I got this with the idea that I would either use it for myself for lunches throughout the week for meal prep, or I would use it for our weekly date night at home. My husband and I have been doing a little date night in once a week, and that's actually what we did with our first box. We cooked up both of the meals. We cooked together and we enjoyed them and just spent quality time, which was wonderful. Anyway, all of that to say, Blue Apron came out. It was my second box. This one did not have the free shipping, so it was a little bit more expensive, but it was still only $21.95, which I think is a really great deal for the quality and everything. I'm not going to keep Blue Apron long term because it's just too expensive without the discounts, but while I have the discounted boxes, I'm going to keep it. Plus, I got that $50 rebate, which is still pending in my Ibotta account, but I'm sure that it'll go through eventually. It says it can take up to 30 days. So that was Blue Apron, and I'm actually going to categorize that as groceries, obviously, since it's food we are preparing and eating at home. All right, next up, we went out to eat. My husband and I had met up for lunch this day. He was slow at work and I didn't have anything going on. This was a Friday. I had actually taken the day kind of off from my YouTube and Etsy stuff, so I was just kind of hanging out at home. He invited me to lunch with him, so we did that. We went to a little local cafe, and that's going to be categorized as eating out, which I was hoping not to do a ton of in January, and we did end up eating out a couple of times throughout this week, so we're not doing great with the not eating out, but I think we're still under our eating out budget. At least I hope so. So this amount was $33. It was for he and I to have a little brunch date, and then of course a tip. I always tip really generously, especially in these times when you know, everything going on in the world with the pandemic. I feel like a little extra tip is appreciated. Okay, so then on January 8th, we finally got to Walmart to put gas in our car. So this was Murphy gas, and this amount was $32.01. My husband failed at stopping the gas pump right at 32, so have to pay that extra 1 cent. And then we went to Lowe's. We needed to get pellets for my husband's grill. We celebrated Robert's birthday this day on the 8th, and he did steaks out on our wood pellet smoker grill, so he needed pellets for that. I'm considering this a household expense. That's how I've decided to categorize it. And that amount was $18.01. By the way, I have a feeling we are going to be over our household budget because I only budgeted $100 for the whole week, or for the whole month, and I think we've already spent that much. Oops. When I set up my budget for January, I kind of said this was going to be a test month because I wasn't really sure how much things were going to cost and how much I should budget for things. So if I'm over budget in a certain category, I'm not going to be too stressed about it. Unless, of course, it's something ridiculous, like we went out and, you know, dropped $500 on something that was outside of our typical budget. On the 9th, we went to a little local donut place and got donuts. They were so delicious. This is our favorite little donut shop. And that was from our eating out budget. That amount was $20.60. Also on the 9th, we ordered our groceries. So that was through Walmart. I scheduled a grocery pickup this day. We picked them up the next day, but this is the day that my card charged. So we split up our transaction into household and groceries here. So for the household portion, this is things like we bought some bubble bath, we bought some deodorant and some styrofoam cups, that sort of thing, which technically could all be considered personal care and come out of a sinking fund, but I've been using my personal care sinking fund when we order things like shampoo online or something. When it's coming from Walmart where we're doing our shopping anyway, I'm just going to count it as a household expense. I don't really quibble too much. The money's all coming out of the same account. It's not really that big of a deal what I categorize it as. So that's what I've chosen to do here. And the household portion was $17.03. The grocery part of that transaction, so this is also Walmart, coming from the grocery budget, was $136.87. So we are all stocked up on groceries for the week. And then lastly, on the 10th, my husband went to Dollar General. He needed to get a new, what is it called? A new charging cord for his phone. He was out and about at work and his phone was dying and he had left his charging cord at home. So he had to pick up a new one. That's going to come out of our miscellaneous budget. And that was $10.60. Alright, so that is all of the spending that happened just from our typical account. We do have some spending to track on our transaction log for our sinking funds. We'll do that momentarily. But before then, I want to go ahead and get these all color coded. So I'm going to pull in my mild liners here. And I know that we said that, let's see, I think this orange was what we used for household. Let me take a look back at what we did last week. Yep, orange is household. We did yellow for groceries. I know that there's a blue here that I use for bills. This pink is gas. Where is that blue? It's hard because I store these all upside down so that the ink doesn't, or so that the markers don't dry out, but then you can't see what color they are without kind of pulling them out of there. There's that blue for bills. I need my green for miscellaneous. What did we decide eating out was? Oh, I don't think I ate out last week. So I guess I'll just choose a color for eating out. I'll do this yellow for eating out, the 2 yellows for our food. And I believe that's everything. Oh, except savings. What do I want to do for savings? Maybe I'll do this like turquoise or teal color. You guys, I still do not know the difference between turquoise and teal. What color would you say this is? Or like aqua, maybe? All right. Spring green, I think, is what the mild liner is called. So maybe it's that. All right, let's go ahead and get these categorized and added up. So first up, we'll do bills. So I'm just going to go down the line and highlight all of the bills. And we'll just add them up. And look, you guys, I found my calculator. All right, so 1584 plus 120 plus 200. I believe that was all of the bills. And that total is $335.84. Next, we'll go ahead and do miscellaneous, which we said was green. So we've got this one and this one. Oop. And that's $2.60 plus $10.60 for a total of $13.20. All right, savings challenges we said we're going to do in this color. Ooh, that's a really beautiful color. Oops. Wow, my highlighting skills leave a lot to be desired. So for savings, we did $45. Was actually a total of $47, but 2 of those dollars came out of my spending money, which I guess I technically could have written in here, but again, the savings challenge, when I'm just moving money from one envelope to another, it gets kind of gray how I want to track that, so I'm just going to leave it. For gas, then we've got 1, 2, oh my gosh, you guys. I don't know why I have such a hard time with highlighting. I have like the unsteadiest hand ever. So for gas, then 15 plus 3201 is 4701. Gas prices just keep going up and up and up. Okay, groceries then. Part of it is that I'm still trying to not mess up my nails, which I already kind of did. There's a thumbprint in that one. Okay, $21.95 plus $136.87 is $158.82. Okay, next we have eating out, which I said I was going to do in this other yellow color. Are the 2 yellow colors going to be confusing? No, I think they're different enough that I won't have any trouble. Okay, so eating out. We spent $33 plus $20.60 for a total of $53.60. Alright, and then lastly we have household, which I said was this orange color. I'm not even sure if this is the same orange that I was using here. We'll find out, I suppose. Yeah, I think it is. So we got Lowe's and Walmart for household. $18.01 plus $17.03 is $35.04. So let's just really quickly total up everything we spent this week. Oops. So $335.84 plus $13.20 plus 45 plus 47.01 plus 158.82 plus 53.60 plus 35.04 for a grand total of $688.51. All right, so that's everything for our typical expenses. Now I'm just gonna flip to our sinking fund transaction log and get those put in. All right, so here we have my transaction log for my sinking funds, and I'm just gonna start writing things in. So on the 4th, the fund we used was our clothing sinking fund. We went to Kohl's and we spent $21.20 on a hoodie for my husband. And I'm just gonna write that this was Kohl's. On the 4th also, we used our personal care sinking fund so that my husband and son could go and get haircuts. And between the 2 haircuts and a tip, that amount that we spent was $50. On the 5th, we used our home project sinking fund. My husband needed to go and get a shower head for my son's shower. They somehow managed to break it, or it just broke. I guess they didn't break it. These things happen. And that amount was $39.20 for their new shower head. We got them a nicer one than what they had, and they appreciated that. So that's that. Let's see what else. On the 7th, my husband, from our camping sinking fund, that's where we decided to take it from. It was a total of $15.75. He went and got propane. He actually needed the propane to help his mom. Her pipes froze, and he needed the propane to put into the heater or whatever it is he used to thaw her pipes, but the rest of the propane we're going to take to the camper to use for camping, so we just took the money for that out of our camping sinking fund. That's how we decided to handle that. On the 8th, we needed to pay for my son's indoor soccer session. His second session started up this day. We took that out of our school sinking fund because we use our school sinking fund for school expenses and any like school related activities. He'll be joining the varsity soccer team at the high school level next year, so the indoor soccer helps him get prepared for that. So that's how we handled that. And that amount was $90, and we actually found out after the fact that they undercharged us a little bit and we need to pay another $17. So that will be coming out of this when I make that extra payment. I'm just gonna write this is for soccer. All right, on the 8th, we went to Walmart and used our celebration sinking fund to buy all of the things we needed for my son's birthday celebration. And then we also did cash for him for his birthday, so that total, I gotta look here and add it up, was a total of $179.78. He chose crab legs and steak for his dinner. We made him a birthday cake, that whole enchilada, so that was Robbie's birthday. My baby boy's 19, can you guys believe it? Alright, and then also on the 8th, we used our car maintenance sinking fund. And that was for $12. We went to the car wash. And I could have taken this out of like our gas sinking or our gas envelope or whatever, but I decided washing the car, that's maintaining it, so we'll take it out of our car maintenance sinking fund. Also on the 9th, we used our car maintenance sinking fund. We needed to get windshield washer fluid, and there might have been something else, but that total was $12.70, and that was at O'Reilly. And then lastly, we took money out of our celebration sinking fund. My husband took his dad out for a really nice dinner. That was sort of their Christmas. We didn't get a chance to see him on Christmas, so he took him for a really nice dinner, and that total was $100. So that is everything from our sinking funds. Lots and lots of action happening in our sinking funds, but that is what that money is there for. Alright, my friends, so that is it for my expense tracking for the first full week in January. I hope that you enjoyed it. You got a little look-see at what has been happening in our accounts and where we've been spending. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, that you subscribe so you can come back and check out my weekly check-in, see how we're doing overall with our budget so far now that we are 10 days into the month. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, how's your January going? I know for a lot of us, December was really, really tough on our budgets. I myself definitely did some backsliding in the debt department and struggled a lot with spending in December, so trying to zip it up in January. I don't think we've been doing too bad, but I'll find out for sure when I do our little check-in, so be on the lookout for that video coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I will see you next time. Bye!